Hey, how you doing, everybody? Today's video is the part 3 of encapsulation. And well, welcome back to the series, by the way. And what we are going to talk about is getter and setter. But before I introduce what's getter and setter, I just want to tell you I have already redeclared my public variable into private variable, and I moved them here up above init method. So if somebody wants to read your code, they can clearly get idea of what variable is being used within the class. Okay, excuse me. Just get back to the point. What's getter and setter? A getter and setter is a sort of method declared inside the class to get and set values from or for the class itself. So simply speaking, if I want to show you, I can just create a public variable. Let's just call it test and assign nothing to it. And we can here to assign value for this user by directly call the variable itself. So for example, v for value, and we can get the value by just print it out. Test. Okay, if I run it, we can see the system return v, which is here because we set the v value to the test itself, and we get the value by directly calling the test value itself. This idea is really handy, very convenient. However, if we want to create some constraints for it, this idea is not going to work because we couldn't create some constraints like if statements to the variable itself. So we have to instead create method for it. All right, let me show you how we can do it. Just let me get rid of this. So imagine today we just want to get the value of row here, and we also want to create some constraints if the row variable itself is not known. Then we do something, and if it is known, we do other things, or we do nothings. So by assigning a known values, we can assign the known value to the parameter itself. Here, we assigned a default value to the parameter itself, and this parameter will assign to the variable. So we don't have to assign this value once if we want to create a new user here. So if the value right now is known, so we can declare a method for it by saying, well, get row and bring self in, and we can declare a constraint for it by saying if self the underscore row which is not known, then we can return self the underscore row. Otherwise, we can return something else by saying there is no value, and we can try it out by printing. So this user underscore 1, we can just get the value of the rows by just calling the method get row itself. So if I run it, we can get remains here because there's value assigned to the row and bring into this user object. So once if I get rid of this, because the default value is known, so we can try it out by printing. And in return, the system returns there is no value, because right now the value of row itself is null. So this is how we can create some constraints for it instead of just directly getting to the variable and grab the data of the variable. Okay, next things we can I just want to talk about is we can also return some combination of values. So to show you some example here, we've got first name and last name. So sometimes we just want to get the full name of these users, and we don't want to just kind of like print, like get first name and get the last name. So this is not really convenience. So we can create some getter for it for the combination of values. So by doing this, we can declare a getter called get full name, which is personal name, and we can bring self in, and we can return self underscore first name plus space plus self the last name, underscore last name. So we can try it out right now by printing it out. So we just want to get the full name of this user by calling the method itself, and we can run it. You can see here we've got the full name of this user just by calling one method, not two variables, and combine them together, because this method will handle this that work. But sometimes we just want to get the first name and last name itself. We don't want to get the full name. So we can also declare the get method getter for first name and bring self, and we can just return return self that the branch call first name, and as well as last name. Excuse me, any second right now. We can return underscore last name, and for now we can just print it out. Just get the value itself. That get, for example, like first name, and we print it. Sorry, and the system just returned the first name itself. And this idea can also apply it with the personal name by calling the method instead of the variable itself. So self.get underscore first name here, get underscore last name, and if we run it, it returns the same thing. So it's a method. It's a method calling method itself. So, well, I think that's enough for this video, because I don't want to make my video to be giant video. So this video just want to focus on getter, and I'm gonna explain what's setter and what we can do setters with in the next video. So I'll see you then. Bye bye.